Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Hobby Quick Hits. Today's episode is pertaining to my weekend here in the Syracuse area. Pretty busy one, to say the least. Did a toy festival at the request of Lynn Lake, the promoter of Collectors Fest, the card show. Toyfest was Saturday, card show was Sunday. Also was at a trade night for the first hour, taking submissions for SGC as well. So I'm going to kind of review the weekend that was for me, as I sometimes do when I have kind of busy show weekends. So that's what this episode will entail. I hope you enjoy. First, we're going to hear from our great sponsors, Mojo Break, and then we'll get into some hobby news and the releases coming up for your ripping pleasure.
MojoBreakShop.com is the best place to get your sealed wax products and brakes. They not only have the best selection, but the best prices. Whether it's a box or a whole case, they are your guys. They ship worldwide to your doorstep. Their reputation as one of the most trusted in the hobby goes unmatched. They are the 2021 Topps Rip Party Champion Breakers. From sports card to Pokemon cards, their selection can't be beat. They offer daily deals and pre-orders.
Hey guys, John Newman here. Mojo's prices are already great, but to save an additional 10% off anything in their store, use the code QUICKHITS. That's QUICKHITS. Check out the full service store that's open 7 days a week in Santa Clara, California, or the website at mojobreak.com.
Let's check out this week's Hobby Wax releases. Take it away, Max.
Hey guys, it is Max here from the Sports Card Shop in New Buffalo, Michigan, and soon to be Valparaiso. And we are bringing you guys the weekly releases for this week here. And we're starting off on the 26th with 2023 Bowman Baseball, 2023 Bowman's Best University Football, 2022 Panini Contenders Optic Football, 2023 TriStar Autograph Baseball NY Dynasty, 2022-23 Topps UEFA Club Competition Soccer, Upper Deck Skybox J and Silent Bob Reboot, 2022-23 Upper Deck Synergy Hockey, 2023 Onyx Preferred Players Collection Baseball, and on the 28th, we have 2022-23 Panini Prism Basketball Fast Break, 2023 Panini Prism UFC, 2023 Sage Hit High Series Football Blaster, 2023 Sage Hit High Series Football Hobby, and 2023 Topps Athletes Unlimited All Sports. And on the 3rd of May, I believe, we have 2023 Historic Autographs Originals Back-to-Back Baseball, 2023 Leaf Vivid Baseball, 2022-23 Panini Select Premier League Soccer, 2023 Panini Stars and Stripes Baseball, 2022 Upper Deck Goodwin Champions, 2021 Upper Deck Ultimate Collection Hockey, and on the 5th, for our final release of this week, we have 2022-23 Leaf Multi-Graphics Based Basketball. I appreciate you guys tuning into the podcast. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Hobby News Daily is your homepage of the hobby, providing original writing, exclusive gem rate data, a daily morning minute podcast, and some of the best content creators in the hobby. Remember, hobbynewsdaily.com and at Hobby News Daily on social. Happy collecting!
Let's go round the hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
All right, lots to report since the last Hobby Quick Hits. Current news and some stuff that happened in the 2 weeks since our last HQH. Let's start with sort of the hot button topic, right? Fanatics purging Panini and their talent. That number is up to 35 employees taking their talents to Fanatics for similar roles. Panini has filed a lawsuit claiming unfair labor practices against Fanatics, so we'll see how this plays out. And Fanatics has new Dallas digs, so many of those Panini employees that have jumped ship won't have to move or relocate. They can just go to the new Fanatics digs. There's a video of it online. I'm not gonna lie, they are very sharp looking indeed. I don't like doing speculation stories all the time, but I will do one here. Brian Gray and his right-hand man, Greg Cohn, posted some cryptic messages on social media that they were getting on a plane and had a very important meeting that Greg called potentially life-altering. So everybody is speculating what this means. And I've heard about 3 to 5 different things. I'm going to give my 2 cents. Again, I have no inside info. This is only my opinion, but I feel like Leaf is talking to Panini about an acquisition, a merger, where Leaf employees and Brian Gray, Greg Cohn, go to Panini and fill all those roles we just talked about, 35 of them that left to head to Fanatics. I think it sets, if that is the case, again, all speculation on my part, if that's the case, it also can keep Panini from having to sell to Fanatics, which I think they, by all means, are trying not to do. And it also sets them up well in 2026 when Panini loses the license and will have to make do without those licenses. And love them or not love them, right? Who knows best how to produce cars and be fairly successful without a license? Brian Gray of Leaf, right? So if you have him on your staff with 2 years in, right, 2 to 3 years in, he can prepare Panini for life after licensing. So that's how I see it. It doesn't mean I'm right. I've heard some other theories that Fanatics is buying Leaf. I'd be shocked with that when I don't see that. So I'm thinking Panini merges, acquires, partners with Leaf, brings over all their employees to fill major holes in the ship and prepare for life after licensing with kind of the poster boy for that in Brian Gray in a few years. So that's my prediction. We'll find out if it's much to do about nothing or if it's reality. Upper Deck is doing football again. All right, not the NFL, but USFL. They've got the licensing due to the USFL. They are second year back after their hiatus and their return. They released a 16-card preview e-pack set, and they will be obviously releasing packs and singles and all that for the second year of the USFL. Did you see Adam Sandler at the Long Island National on the Hofstra this past weekend? He was there, wearing a big coat and glasses and a hat, but very recognizable. Probably doing research for his new baseball card and memorabilia movie that he plays a dealer in. So probably doing some sort of undercover research. He was recognized, so not truly undercover, but on-the-job training maybe, as they say. eBay will be sponsoring a bunch of trade nights at some probably stores you've heard of, kind of a trade night world tour. Head to eBay to find out what neighborhood and what LCS they will be sponsoring a trade night at next. Tim Hortons in Upper Deck have sort of announced a surprise set. We all know they do each year. They do the Tim Hortons cards, and they're doing the Legends packs. They kind of did it very quietly, didn't say much about it, and just announced they're doing Legends packs. Packs are $1 with any other purchase, $1.99 without one. 3 cards a pack, 2 base cards, 1 insert or parallel. It's a 180 card set. Also features the Canadians women's team, and also has Gretzky autos, 99 total. Very rare and hard to pull. Don't want to make them sound like they're easy, but 99 Gretzky cards autographed. Patrick Waugh cards, 33. Noticing the trend there. Those are jersey numbers. And Haley Wickenheiser from that women's team, 22 of those. So sort of a surprise Tim Hortons Upper Deck release there. So and they make some really, really beautiful cards. I try to get some of those, even though we don't have them here at the Tim Hortons we have here in the States. I do try to pick up some online when I can. In our last story, the autograph signers for the National in Chicago have been announced. I'm going to run through this list quickly for time purposes. A lot of Hall of Famers. Let's start with baseball. Johnny Bench, Ricky Henderson, Mike Schmidt, Frank Thomas, Robin Yount, new Hall of Famer Scott Rowland, Jeff Bagwell, Wade Boggs, Roger Clemens, that's interesting, Andre Dawson, Raleigh Fingers, Steve Garvey, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Rich Goose Gossage, Jim Cott in his 80s now will be there. Tony Perez, Ryan Sandberg, and Ted Simmons. For football, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Emmett Smith, Eric Dickerson, Ray Lewis, Bruce Smith, Kurt Warner. Syracuse Universities, Larry Zonka, Champ Bailey, Derek Brooks, Chris Carter, Marshall Falk, Michael Irvin, James Lofton, Adrian Peterson, Warren Sapp, Ed and Andre Reed, no relation, but they both Reeds will be there, and Charles Woodson, Floyd Mayweather from boxing, and NBA Hall of Famers Walt Frazier, Joe Dumars, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and Bill Walton. So a who's who of Hall of Famers as we usually expect signing at the National, and something tells me more names to come.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, let's start with Saturday. So Saturday here in Syracuse, Lynn Lake, the promoter of my home sports card show, Collectors Fest, he does about 3 or 4 Toyfest each year. And Toyfest are just what it sounds like: old games, toys, figurines, Funkos, old Star Wars figures, 70s games, board games, a little of everything. There are some card dealers that do set up. I traditionally don't. And sometimes Toy Fest will be on Saturday and Collectors Fest, the card show, will be on Sunday. About once a year, that's what actually happens. Well, this weekend was that occurrence. And so promoter Lynn Lake, who's been on this show, asked me, "Hey, John, can you come Saturday to, take SG submissions? I think you'll get some Pokemon cards, some maybe, TCG type cards for SGC. Now, I'm going to be there Sunday with my 2 tables and the 3rd table being an SG submission, but he wanted to know, could I come for the Toy Fest? And I kind of, voiced my concerns that I don't know how many cards I would get. I might be sitting there all day and not get a sub. And that was a big fear of mine, right? I don't mind kind of being a team player and helping out, but, you spend 6-8 hours somewhere and you don't get any submissions, you could be doing other things, all right? So we had a conversation and we worked out a deal. I'm not going to get into the particulars, but we worked out a deal, and I was there Saturday to take some subs, and it was a pleasant surprise. I got between 30 and 40 cards from people walking through the door, non-dealers, and I got a couple other larger submissions from dealers on site. So overall, wasn't too bad of a day. It was actually a lot better than I was anticipating. Sargeant Slaughter was on hand signing autographs. And let me tell you about this guy. My table was about 10 feet away from his. The way it was set up, I'm literally facing him, looking at him. And what a great guy. He was there. He got there at 9:30. He's 74 years old. Looks younger than his age. Looks like he could still wrestle. And great shape. 74 years old. He got there at 9:30 and he was there till 3 o'clock. Took like 1 hour break for like lunch, but was there to 3 o'clock. Signed a lot of autographs. There was a lot of people there to meet him, get pictures. He put people in Cobra clutches, signed belts, 8x10s, you name it, he signed it. And very personable, right? We hear stories where a lot of times these athletes or celebrities, right, their heads down, they sign the photo, they never look up, and they just kind of slide the thing back. And he was 100% the opposite. He was very personable, shook hands, was great with the kids. I was really very impressed. I have a newfound respect for Sargeant Slaughter. 74 years old and spry and just engaging. And, it was fun to watch. I really, for the slow times that I did have at my table, being at a toy festival, he was entertainment in himself, and it made the day a lot more fun and manageable. And so want to give a shout out to Sargeant Slaughter. Robert Remus is his real name for those that wonder, but great guy. And I didn't really get to talk to him. We kind of exchanged kind of head nods and that sort of thing, but very impressed there. And it was a fun Saturday. And then kind of packed. I didn't really have to pack up because it was just my SGC table, so that will remain there for that would remain there for Sunday's show. And went home, spent a couple hours with family, and then headed to G&G's Gideon's Gallery's trade night. They do one of these a month, and it's a 3-hour thing, and they've grown since they started them. And headed there. Just I didn't bring cards this time. I just came there to represent SGC and take any SGC subs at the trade night. Had some cards submitted, not a ton, but had a few. Walked around, checked out people's inventory, stayed there like I advertised for about an hour, and a lot of kids, and my feelings on that. Very happy to see a lot of kids with the showcases set up, trading, buying, selling on trade night, and good to see. A lot of modern at this store and trade night. So not a lot sort of moves my meter, so I didn't acquire anything or buy anything. Like I said, took some cards in for SG submission, and kind of after about an hour headed out and headed home to get ready for the show on Sunday. So on Saturday, before we get to Sunday, my very good friend Chad, who I've known for 30 years, he's actually my son Jordan's godfather, has recently started doing shows. And this card show was sold out, but I went to Lynn, the promoter, and said, hey, my buddy Chad, if table opens up, he'd love to take one. And Lynn texted me Saturday night, said, hey, if Chad needs a table, I had someone cancel last minute, and I'll put them near you. You guys can, be set up together. So I called Chad up, let him know the good news. And so let's get into Sunday. So kind of did my new setup with the new bulletin board cases I spoke about on Hobby Quick Hits last week with what I saw in Springfield. And I will say this, those are spreading. I did see a few other dealers at my home show at Syracuse today with them as well. Overall, did very well at the show Sunday. I had a lot of fun hanging out with Chad. He would watch my stuff. I went out to the food truck and got some lunch and vice versa. And it's always nice when you're set up at a show with someone you're super close with, right? He's like a brother to me. Like I said, I've known him 30 years. You can tell goofy jokes and just kind of be yourself. And so he's really gotten into the hobby. He's been buying a lot of vintage lots and and kind of beefing up his inventory and really getting into it. We're going to have, I think I'm going to have him on a future episode of Sports Card Nation to kind of talk about sort of how he's getting in this quick and fast and doing a great job and doing well as well. So pretty good show. I didn't break any sales records or anything like that, but solid show. Almost 200 subs for SGC, which is nice. That always help as well. So very good on that end. And talk to a lot of people I know. It's my home show, so that's the nice benefit of that is familiar faces, great conversations, and a lot of new subbers. I had a lot of return subbers that were already in previous subs that came back, which is a good sign that you're providing a great service, right? And I had a lot of new subbers, and that's great as well. So this is really sort of, and I'm streamlining the process. What I do now with my bulk subs is everything is, I put everyone's email on an email chain, and I keep everybody in the loop about the status of the submission, right? The cards have been shipped. They're in Florida. They're being graded. They're on their way back. They are here. Make arrangements to pick them up. So rather than make, 40 calls, let's say, or 30 calls, I can send one email blast to everybody. So that's something I've incorporated. I didn't do that from the jump, but now kind of streamlining the whole process and makes my life a little bit easier, truth be told. And so, overall good show. It's not football season, so we didn't get everyone kind of leaving at 1 o'clock, but it kind of started off slow. I'm not going to lie, kind of a slow start. And then, the middle was really the busy part, and then it kind of dwindled to close it out. But just before they were going to close the doors, I had a gentleman come up to me. I made a trade with a young man for a Bobby Witt Bowman Best purple, the number to 250. So not a huge deal. And just before they were going to, they made the announcement 10 minutes in the show's closing. A middle-aged man came up to me, had a stack of graded cards in his hand, about 11 cards, and asked if I was buying. I told him I really like vintage. He said, well, I don't have any vintage, but I'm looking to move some cards here, and so I can go home and bring some money back home to my wife. And I said, well, I'll take a look, I felt I at least should, it wasn't a whole box. He just had them in his hand. I would take a look. So I took a look at these 11 cards, and I'm, they're nice. I'm going to tell you what they are here in a minute. And I asked him, are you selling them individually? Are you looking to move them all as one kind of bulk lot? And he goes, yeah, I'd like to move them all in one lot. And I'm like, do you have a price in mind? So he mentioned the price. I'm not going to, as you know, I don't give a lot of those numbers out for obvious reasons, but we negotiated a price that worked for me, and I bought the 11 cards. And so again, they weren't vintage, but this was really a pretty decent deal. So I'm going to go through these kind of quick. I don't want to make this any longer. There's two 2021 Onyx vintage autographs, Justin Herbert. One is the green, where there are only 50. It's a CSG 10. One is the blue. It's also, the blues are the 400. That's a CSG 10. Those are two very nice cards. A Devers Select Rookie, red, number to 99. That was a CGS 9. A 2019 Leaf Valiant Rising Stock Green Prismatic Jordan Alvarez Auto. Beckett graded 9.5. This one's a big card. I kind of thought it was without actually looking it up. It's a 2017 National Treasures Rookie NFL Gear Combo Materials. Patrick Mahomes with Deshaun Watson. Can't help that, but CGS 9.5, that's a really nice card, number to 99. Dual patches. A second year Patrick Mahomes from 2018, Panini Rookies and Stars. It's the red and blue parallel, number to 25. That's a CSG 8.5. A 2019 Bowman's Best Future Foundations die cut Hunter Green Gold Refractor Auto, number to 50. CSG 9.5. A 2018 Bowman's Best Luis Robert Atomic Refractor Auto numbered to 25 CSG 9. A 2018 Bowman Platinum Top Prospects Auto Shane Bieber, the red parallel, numbered 10 out of 10 for all you eBay 101 fans. And two more cards to kind of go through as I go through quickly. 2019 Leaf Flash Autographs Julio Rodriguez Blue Auto numbered to 50 CSG 10. And last but not least, 2019 Leaf Flash of Brilliance Autographs Alek Manoah, the yellow 1 of 1 CSG 10. So Alek Manoah 1 of 1 Brilliance Leaf Auto CSG 10. So in comping them out, I did very well for what I paid for them, and that gentleman got to bring home some money to his wife, and it was nice because I hadn't really bought some modern cards, quite frankly, in a while. So it's nice to kind of get some fresh stock in the showcases. You know, obviously at shows you sell your cards, and I really haven't replaced a lot of my modern stuff from the last few shows, and so this will allow me to get some of these cards out, probably list them on some sites as well. Some of them I may kind of hold back, and timing is everything, right? I won't list them and wait till maybe the season starts for some, for the Herberts. I haven't decided yet, but kind of a good deal to end the day. Wasn't necessarily looking for it, sort of fell my way, and I they say a great deal is one where both parties feel good about it, and I know the gentleman was pleased, and I'm pleased with the purchase as well. So a good way sort of wrap up the Sunday. I'm not going to lie, I'm recording this after the show, and I am tired. I'm pretty exhausted, but got to get the content out there, and I have no show on the docket scheduled until September. But my buddy Chad's like, hey, we got to try to do a show before then. That's a long way off, and so we're going to look around New York State here. I know there's one in up north in the northern part of New York State, a city called Watertown, New York. There's a military base up there called Fort Drum. They're starting to do shows up there, so maybe we'll look into setting up at that one. But it was a good, really fun day. Not long, but tiring day. Ended on a good note with that purchase. Made a trade earlier in the day for that Bobby with to 250, and so always nice to sort of get some fresh inventory into the cases, and bulletin board cases very well. A few people even commented on them, like it's really sharp. People who remembered my old All-State thicker, taller, heavier cases said, "Oh, John, you got new cases." A couple people even referred to the show like, "Hey, are these the ones you talked about on your podcast?" And I'm like, that's them making their debut today. So a lot of great interactions, conversations, made decent sale day, almost 200 cards heading SGC's way here early this week, and just having a lot of fun, and like I said, don't really want to wait till September to do another show. So we're gonna check the docket and see what we can find. So with that being said, we're gonna call it an episode, and a few more words before we get out of here, but take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Want to give out our social media, starting with our website, which is www.sportscardnationpodcast.com. Facebook, you can follow us at www.facebook.com/sportscardnationpodcast/ Twitter, we are at SportsCardNati1, so it's SportsCard NATI1. Instagram at SportsCardNationPodcast, or you can email the show hobbyquickhits@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.